I'd like to propose a question to the senator from Connecticut. Before I do, first I would like to thank the senator who is presiding at this early morning hour. Thank you and your fellow senators who have made this possible. And special thanks to the staff. They've been thanked before and they should be thanked again for their diligence and patience during this conversation and debate on the floor of the Senate. And a special thanks to the Pages, who stayed late tonight and will have stories to tell about that night in the Senate that went into the morning, and we were there. So you'll be able to tell those stories when you get back home to your families and friends. But it is an historic debate. It's an important debate, and it's one that will affect your lives and the lives of many people that you treasure on this earth. And we come to this floor at this early morning hour, 1:45 here in Washington, D.C., as the senator from Connecticut noted, more than 13 hours after he first took the floor, to discuss a critically important issue about the safety and security of America. When I think about what we're facing here, and it's been said by the senator from Maine, we're dealing with a new strategy by terrorists. I can remember the day on 9/11/2001 in a room just a few feet away when, a little after 9 o'clock in the morning, we quickly turned on a television to see that planes were crashing into the World Trade Center in New York. By the time the second plane went in, we knew it wasn't an accident. And then there was a crash at the Pentagon, black smoke billowing over the mall, and we were quickly advised to evacuate the capital of the United States. And we did. We raced for the exits and went outside, stood on the lawn and didn't know which way to turn, feeling that the next plane was headed for that Capitol dome. And that was the threat that we faced, and the reality of that threat right here in this building. That some terrorist, unimaginable, some terrorist would use an airplane to attack us. That was the weapon. Well, it was a bitter lesson. 3,000 innocent Americans died, and we changed America. Osama bin Laden changed America. The way we went to the airport, when we arrived, how we arrived, what we carried, what we wore, became part of our defense of America. And for 15 years, it has become a routine. Our children and grandchildren have grown up with it. They couldn't imagine a day when you didn't go through security at an airport. But before 9/11, it virtually never happened, or if it did, it wasn't very reliable. What we're talking about is a new strategy, a new tactic by terrorists. And that's why this debate is about more than just this horrible tragedy at Orlando. It's about a pattern that is emerging of those who are radicalized and marginalized, who turn to guns that they can buy legally in the United States to threaten us. How serious are these guns? I made a mistake in an earlier meeting of calling it an automatic weapon. The weapon that was found to have been taken in by this man in Orlando is a semi-automatic weapon. The difference, of course, is an automatic weapon. You hold the trigger, and it bursts all of the cartridges in your magazine, as many as you have. Semi-automatic, you literally have to pull the trigger each time. But let me give you an idea what that meant in the early morning hours at Pulse nightclub in Orlando. A brief video was uploaded to Snapchat by one of the victims, Amanda Alvear. It was the last video she ever shot because she died. What the early moments of the massacre sounded like came through on the Snapchat video. A frantic drumbeat of shots, 17 or more shots in 9 seconds. One shot per trigger pull in a continual barrage. Today, the FBI told us there were hundreds of shots fired. So when we talk about a potential terrorist with a gun, it is a terrorist with the capacity to kill hundreds of people. That is the new tactic. And that's why this conversation is not just about Second Amendment in theory. It's about keeping America safe in fact from the new wave of terrorism. When the senator from Connecticut took the floor, it was for two reasons. We've said them and should say them again. to make sure that if someone is suspected to be a terrorist, they cannot legally purchase a weapon in America. And particularly not this kind of weapon that could create such carnage and kill so many innocent people. And secondly, that this terrorist, once realizing he's stopped by the legal process, can't go to the extraordinary process of going to a gun show. I've been by these gun shows in the armories and gymnasiums across Illinois, and they all come piling in to show their weapons and sell their weapons. And people buy them in bulk, and rarely, in some states, in Indiana, for example, no background check. You want to buy more than one Glock pistol? How much money do you have? You want to fill up the trunk of your car and take them into the city of Chicago, which is exactly what happens? Be my guest at the Northern Indiana gun shows. And of course, now the internet is another source. So are we so certain of the security of America that we're not going to protect our families and our friends and the people we love from the next attack, from the next would-be terrorist? I don't know if this man in Orlando was truly associated with a terrorist organization. The investigation's underway. Some of the things he said were nonsensical when it came to identifying himself with these terrorist groups, but I don't want to dismiss that possibility. Let the FBI investigate that in its full range to find out whether he was associated. But then who is the next one? And will the next one have access to some weapon that can kill so many innocent people at once? That is what this conversation's all about. It isn't about some age-old debate on the floor of the Senate. It's about the new world we live in. The senator from Maine made it clear. The senator from Connecticut read directly from terrorists who were instructing those who would kill Americans how to get it done most efficiently. That's what we're trying to stop. That is what this is all about. It'll be great if at the end of this, we not only get these amendments called, but maybe even a bipartisan agreement on stopping terrorists from buying guns in America to threaten innocent people in Orlando, in Connecticut, in Illinois, in Maine, in New Jersey. So I would close by first thanking you, Senator Murphy, and Senator Booker, who has been your stalwart supporter and friend throughout this debate. I believe he has tried to stand by you literally throughout. Senator Booker, thank you for yesterday bringing to our attention at our caucus lunch the fact that this is about more than mass murder. It is about the murders of America which go on every day, every hour, in cities that we love, and innocent people die because of it. It's all part of the same conversation and the same debate. Thank you for really bringing that message home. It touched me because of what we are enduring in my state of Illinois and the city of Chicago. And Senator Murphy, it's been a long day, and here we are on a new day. And I hope it is a new day for our country, a new day when we start looking seriously at putting an end to this gun violence and this carnage, and doing a smart, sensible, commonsensical thing to make sure that those who would be terrorists don't have access to the most lethal, killer weapons available in gun stores and gun shows across America. And my close to you is a simple question. At the end of this battle, there are more to be fought, not just on this issue, but the issue of military weapons being sold to common populations. But let's save that for another day. And I just ask you in closing, what your feeling is as you've watched your colleagues give up their time during the course of yesterday and the early hours this morning in terms of the intensity of feeling, the stories that you've heard that I hope have inspired you as they have me.
I thank Senator from Illinois, and